we talk about is, and what we've been talking about is that the generations of the complexity and of the architectures are changing, and with that we're just kind of right on the cusp of API centric. I mean, I know it seems like, hey, we've been talking APIs for 10 years plus, right? But we're really, it started when it hits mainstream, when 80%, I think it was Gartner, one of the major analyst firms, identified that they expect by 2022, something upwards of 80% of the traffic that's going to be attacked going into web applications and just traffic on the network is going to be API based, right? So we have to be looking at our apps API centric, intelligently looking at them using AI that can keep up and watch. And this is all built on top of the stuff that Pavel was talking about, the observability and the tracing, so that we're seeing all of the changes as they happen, because relying on Swagger or our developers to keep our API catalogs up to date or our documentation up to date isn't going to cut it with the speed of change that's happening. And then being able to see all of that and actually understand what are those risks, those business logic risks, those more advanced attacks that where people are using the APIs the way that they were written, and because of a fault or a mistake, like missing an authentication on a particular object, right? You have BOLA from the OWASP API top 10 that then will give access to others to have information they shouldn't have, like personal identifiable information. And this is, again, WAFs can't catch this because the APIs are being used the way that they were designed. There's something more happening. So we have to look for those anomalies and those behavioral changes. So as I mentioned, Traceable itself is built on top of Hypertrace distributed tracing. What we bring is what we call Defense AI, which brings the distributed tracing, this wealth of data about everything that's changing in the environment and happening and being added and the communications, and then use unstructured machine learning, what we call Trace AI, to basically do several things: discovery and risk management of all of the API endpoints of all your applications, next WAF plus RASP, but actually next gen, because we're not rule based. So there's no rules to maintain. You can actually put rules in to immediately cut someone off, cut something off. But the learning AI will figure those out and understand what needs to be blocked on its own if you don't. And then this notion of understanding what's happening with your data as it gets handed off from service provider and service to service and across APIs. What is that data flow? What is happening to that data along the way? And these are all things that we believe are going to become the norm that we have to be conscious of as we move into this new architecture. We are over, so I will stop there.